Dreamers Welcome Podcast.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. We are back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I go by CEO PESO. Blessed and highly favored. Live from Moves Media, goddammit. And I have somebody in here, long awaited. Took a motherfucking minute. We both got busy schedules, but yes, I'm very grateful. I gave you your flowers before and on camera. I fucks with my guy. Introduce yourself for these people, man.
Superstar O, Dayton, Ohio, 937.
Let's get it. Let's go. Appreciate you, my J. We in the building, man.
Trendset, let's make it.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Trendset. If you know, you know. Shouts out to Railroad because he actually came up with that shit.
Oh, for real, for real?
Dead ass. That nigga came up with it with the hand sign. But
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but yeah, man. It's Trendset, forever set to the day I die. Goddamn it.
Sir.
But how you feeling though, bro? What's going on?
Feeling great, man. It's a lot of great things happening. Like I know like you said, we've been trying to like go back and forth, but this is the perfect time to do this. So it's like,
yeah, I mean,
up perfectly.
I just know scheduling and I respect it. So it's just like I never took anything to heart. Like, he's too busy, whatever. But you know, I just knew it would make sense. Like even during like we was trying to set it up, COVID happened.
Yeah, COVID.
You know what I mean? So it just got a little weird on with the world a little bit.
Yeah, we all feeling that.
But we here though, man.
Yep.
Like I said, bro. I just want to get out the way, bro. Like on record, I respect you.
I appreciate.
I've seen a lot of the growth, and you know, you seen my growth, and
100%.
I think that's kind of rare just to see. Like you hear stories about like people who was like coming up with each other, and you know they all became successful in a sense or whatever.
Yeah.
And just to see it from what 20-something years, 15 years ago,
15 plus years now. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, and it's inspiring, but it's crazy because it's like, damn, like shit, like this motherfucker strung out.
Yeah.
People dead at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So,
Facts.
So I respect you, and like I said, I appreciate it, man. But
same here.
We got Superstar in the building.
Let's get it.
So for the people who don't know, let's just get a little bit of your background. You know, Parkside. Just how was the upbringing like coming up though?
Yeah, so shit. I mean, I'm from the 937 from Dayton. I grew up in Parkside. For anybody that's around the city, they know what Parkside is. I'm talking.
Hold on, quick question. Did you ever get that rim or that backboard?
I haven't. So if somebody, listen, if somebody please will go over there and take that motherfucker for me.
Nah, for real, because you was on it. You went there recording.
I want that bitch, man. I need it. It's the last thing over there remaining is the basketball rim that says Parkside. There's nothing else there, and that's gonna be gone soon too. Next summer, I actually want to get with the city and like redo the basketball court and like you know, it wouldn't even be nothing too crazy, but it'd be for the kids or the city. People want to come play ball, but this shit could be gone any moment. So I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get that basketball.
Nah, and they've been rebuilding courts in certain areas though. So
exactly, and they've sold like the one part of the land. They got the NFL. They got a whole NFL field there now. Yeah. There's a whole NFL field where some of the buildings of Parkside used to be. And what team is it? It's I think it's any teams. They come here to practice.
So have you highlighted this? Like, have you?
I tried to get with a couple people I know locally, but they wasn't really like whatever. So I'm just gonna have to take it upon myself. Like I said, like it's winter now, but like next summer when it start heating up, I'm gonna try to get with the city. I know people that got connects with like the city, so I'm gonna try to like tell them like, look, you know, I want to, you know, pay for this basketball, you know, place to, you know, this court to be redone. I grew up here, whatever, and I want to take that rim, but the rim could be gone at any moment. That's why I'm like, somebody with some power tools or something, go grab that motherfucker.
That's a nostalgic backboard, like
100%. I will
for real.
put that shit at art. That will forever be with me. I got a picture of it though, framed in my house though.
But ain't nothing like having it.
But it ain't nothing like having it. Right, right, straight up.
Nah, so Parkside. Just going back to the upbringing.
Yeah. So I mean, I grew up in Parkside. Most of my life, me and my mom lived there. We were homeless off and on. You know, we slept outside some nights where we couldn't get into homeless shelters at night because you had to be there by a certain time. I lived all over the city though. You know what I'm saying? Like me and mama, we moved all over the place. Like we never was really at one place for too long because like, you know, my mom, like she got all type of like mental issues and health issues from how she grew up. You know, she was like, she came up so hard. So it was like really hard for her. So, you know, we didn't get to stay at any place for more than like a few years most of the time. So we lived everywhere, all over the city for real. But it was always a super struggle, man, up until like shit around 18. I was contemplating suicide, to be honest with you. I'm real open about that. Like JR, everybody knows about that. And like I was telling them that, you know what I'm saying? And they were like, shit, nah, bro, you can't do that, man. Like, nah, bro, like, you know, you can get your own equipment and, you know what I'm saying? Like something could happen. So I stuck in there and shit.
So man, threw me off at the Suicide because I didn't know that. But,
no, that was So
at a point, you knew the magnitude of how life was when I was bouncing around. So
shit, Rico, like I told Rico and them, I'm like, bro, and they're like, nah, bro, like what, like hell nah. And then they told like Calvin. So shout outs to Calvin, like Calvin Brown. People from the city know Calvin, like, or you might know him if you're in our generation. But like he was doing his thing and he had a bag at the time and he was like, bro, like. Nah, like, you know, your beats be tight. He bought my first equipment for me.
I remember that. I remember that.
Him, and not only him, but a couple of homies, like, you know, they came together and, like, helped me get my first shit. They were like, nah, bro, like, because they were like, bro, you really got, like, something about you, you know, like, you just a good dude, too. Like, you could do this shit. So I'm like, all right, like, save my life, bro, straight up.
Okay, so for them telling you that, you didn't see that within yourself at the time?
I did, but it's like, you know, over time, like when stuff just doesn't happen, it's easy to be like, man, ain't nothing happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I guess maybe I think this could happen and it ain't. So I just started, you know.
It's more inconsistent. Yeah. Being consistent, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like a lot of inconsistency. Yeah. Nah, so what was the first introduction to music? I mean, because I feel like we jumped in a couple of different parallels.
Yeah.
For them to believe in you to buy the equipment, but what actually got you into doing music?
Well, first, you already know the answer to that.
I know.
I was a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I started in a group with Rico Slico. He goes by now from the city. You know, we were called the Young and the Restless. We met at a McDonald's interview. You know what I'm saying? We were both like 16, getting our first jobs, and we met there. And everybody there, all the chicks, everybody was all on us already. Like, oh, are you guys cousins?
Long hair.
We
niggas.
was looking like him. We was him.
Nah, long hair. Braids. I remember.
We was taking them all already, so we knew. Like we were like, bro, we both looked at one point was like, bro, what kind of fuck with you? I was like, one of us at some point was like, do you rap? Because for some reason I was like, yeah, you rap, and it was like, yeah, it was like, bro, we both rap too. So like from there we just like we would be kicking.
Y'all niggas definitely came off like brothers though.
Yeah, straight up.
Looks.
We probably related in a bloodline somewhere.
Gotta
be. It's 100% possible.
That shit was crazy because when I introduced y'all, I'm like, man, this is the perfect duo.
Yeah, it was straight up. So we started with being an artist like that, Young and Restless. I mean, we was just having fun with it, you know what I'm saying, and doing it in the citywide, you know, trying to get popular through the city and get some girls and all that good stuff. But then from there, I went to school with JR. So, and then JR, he was our producer. So he was making our shit. And, you know, I didn't have my own equipment at that time. So like whenever I could, you know, after we got out of high school, or they graduated, I never graduated, but after he graduated, he went to college. And so I'd be in his dorm, you know what I'm saying, just using his equipment, trying to make beats. Cause I realized like he'd be making a beat for us, and I'd be like, what if you push this here or move that there? And like here and there, he'd be like, that's actually a good idea. Yeah. And one day he was like, bro, why don't you just like try making your own shit? You might have fun with it. So I was like, all right, you know, I'll fuck with it. And then as soon as I started making my first beats,
was going heavy.
I was in love. I loved it so much.
I remember, I ain't gonna lie, I remember coming out there on some immature shit like, nigga, we about to party at Wright State. You about to sit here and make beats.
Yeah, y'all would go party, bro.
It's like, I
would be like, yo, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna just try to like fuck with these beats.
Because my woman at the time, she had a room there. So I would
she was at school.
I would just go to her room and, you know, after we parlay and shit, whatever. But yeah, I just was like on here making. I hate to say it like that, but I was just like immature. I was just super immature. Like I just got done recording like 8 niggas. Like I don't feel like hearing beats right now.
Right.
So I would just dip out.
Facts.
But man, bro, that's just, I don't know, bro. It's just crazy that you took a liking to it off of just like seeing what he did to the beats, and then you kind of just sat in there and just kind of taught yourself in a sense.
I just went crazy. Like I would watch what he was doing, and like I'm like, okay, so I learned how to use the program from watching him. Because like one thing about him though is he would always be like, bro, I ain't teaching you shit though. Like he'd teach me a little bit, but he'd be open about like, nah, you got to learn this shit. So it really pushed me to like, okay, like I'll learn this shit, man, because I really liked it. And then like,
but you got your own craft. You developed your own craft from doing that.
From doing that, exactly. Which was a good thing. But nah, I mean, from there, like I just kept going, and then that's when, like I said, I didn't have my own equipment though, so I could only use his equipment whenever I could. And then when I'd be home or wouldn't be around, I'd be like just depressed as fuck, like because I couldn't do it no more. And I'm like, there's no way I could afford a computer or nothing like that back then. Like I mean, I could have. I got my hustle
but you know,
on and did it, but
we was getting built shit from Ron. And
Ron Dub. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he still builds. He built my current shit. Like he still all my stuff. He still builds it. But So shout out to Dub. Like, he also looked out on my first equipment and was like, oh, he's getting you, he's getting your computer. I'm gonna look out too, and he put all these extra stuff on it for me and stuff like that. Like, along my path, like, tons of people, man, and that's how it is for all of us. Like, it's people sent into your life for like reasons, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you're for them, and sometimes they for you. But like,
and it's at a temporary state at that.
Yep.
Like, I think that's one thing I had to learn is like people that came into my life that helped me do a lot of things, but respectfully, it wasn't meant to
keep going.
Yeah, to ride it out like that.
Some of them
I learned some knowledge from it. I got some discipline from it.
And they got something from you too. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Always,
and thank God for saying that, because it's like, we got something to offer too.
Yeah, straight up.
In the midst of like running into people. So
yeah,
I commend that. So going back real quick to the suicidal thoughts.
Oh yeah.
Like, what led it, and then at the same time, like, what got you to get out of that shit?
So like I was saying, like, so for using his equipment, whenever I didn't have it, whenever I was just at home and, we were all our separate ways, if we weren't kicking it, I couldn't do it. And when I wasn't making beats, I just wasn't happy. Like, I was just like, because my mom, like I said, she grew up, like, I love my mom, you know what I'm saying? But she used to always be a terrible, terrible alcoholic. And like Rico and everybody that was kicking it with me knew that. Like, I'm talking like, tear everything up, like, cause she grew up real hard. Like, I'm talking things were done to her that like you would think nobody would ever do, like some movie shit. So her mind is like kind of like broken to an extent, and she would try to drown that shit out with alcohol, and then that would go off on me. And like Rico, he was living with me too off and on. So like I got to a point where I was like, bro, like, I'm 18 years old. I've been dealing with this. This is my mom. I don't know my dad. I have some cool friends, but I don't really like have too much going on. And I'm like, if this is how it's going to be for the next 18 years, I just rather not be here. And like, I literally was thinking about it, like, but something told me like, I think I first told Rico, and then like, Calvin, JR, everybody. And then they like got together. I think it was actually JR who pulled up on Calvin and was like, well, we ain't got the money to where we could help you get equipment, but fucking like, nah, like, talk to Calvin. He got this bag, he running up. So like, we all had like a little talk, and JR was like, bro, if you pay for this amount, I'll pay for this or whatever, but we can't let him go out like that or whatever. And I was just like crying, because like I didn't think like nothing was like that was possible, where they would try to come together to like help me. Like, what the fuck? Like, that was some of the realest shit ever. You know what I mean?
More
like,
than positives,
yeah, that was some of the realest shit ever. So like, that shit came together, but it was because of that. I was just like, bro, like, what is my life? Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit sucks. If it's gonna keep being like this, like, we would be starving. Like, like in the city, you know what I mean? Like, here and there, like, I might look like I was fresh and stuff like that. Well, I would be like, I would work and I would hustle and I would like make a little money, but it wasn't like enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just getting by.
Yeah, I was just making it look good for real.
Shit, we all was.
And then going to like Ed, what I'm saying?
Plaza?
The fake bait, all that shit. Like, they would look out for me and throw me some shit. That's like my family.
That up, bro.
Yeah, Damien.
I hated my
Edwin
MySpace pictures. I'm like, they don't even make polo jeans like this.
Right. all the fake back in the day, like they had just. But
at the time, I live off the phrase "perception is reality."
Oh no, and that's still for today.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But back then, it was like, nigga, we would stretch $20, $30 out into
hell yeah,
fly ass weekend. So just the last part of that question is like, what makes you so comfortable to speak about and being so vocal with your past and all of that?
For me, it's like, even when I was a kid, like, and me and my mom, we lived in like the Salvation Army and like homeless shelters and shit. I always would like pray, and I literally say, like, I didn't have nobody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have no sibling. Well, I do, but they weren't in my life. Didn't have no dad or nothing. I can't really talk to my mom because she going through all this. So I would always be like, man, if I'm ever in a position where I could be the person that somebody could talk to, or where I could spread some type of light a little bit, then I'm gonna do it. And by me being, or not even me, by all of us being open, and like, I know it's like, a lot of people, they try not to, it's only human to try to not show certain things, but it's really good when you do, because there's so many people out there that need to hear that, man, this was a person that was going through this, and they got through it, and then look what they went to accomplish. So if they did it, so the fuck can I, what I'm saying? So that's why I'm open with everything, like, because you never know who could hear that. It could be somebody to hear this right now, and that could save their life. They could have been like, damn, I was,
for real. And that's why I try to, shed so much light on that type of things, because it is people that, like, one thing I realized is, for one, you never know who's watching or listening. And two, people appreciate vulnerability.
Yep.
They appreciate when you actually are vulnerable enough to, like,
I
got nothing to lose to tell you what it was. You feel me?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's just something I wanted to shine light on because, like I said, I know about the personal stories.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, you flourishing.
I appreciate that, my
bro. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
We get into Superstar O. You dominate SoundClick. You get crazy with the production. Personal question I want to know is, I think the first person I seen you kind of click up with and work was Johnny Juliano.
Yep.
So it's an old story, but
yeah,
how did that come about, and what did that do for you at the time?
So that was another person both brought into each other's life for a reason. Like, he's real similar to me, where like, you know, that's like, you know, we don't talk as much as we do, but we'll always be bros. But like, so I can openly talk, but like, he got anxiety and different things like I got, like, you know what I'm saying? So like, we would link on that. And then like, it came though from shit in the Barringtons. I was still not in no good situation, but I was every single day, like with that new equipment that they helped me get going
crazy.
in, you know, I'm like, bro, I didn't even go outside. Like, I barely went, I didn't do anything but beats for real. And like, I would send them around. Shout out to Chill Will also helped me get like some of my first placement with Dipset and shit. So I was in that era. And
hold on, man, shouts out to Chill Will.
Shout out to Chill,
because he definitely is an advocate of like a lot.
100%. Like I said, there's been so many people that's come into my life, like, you know what I'm saying, and where it was just 100% like just meant to be for real. Where it's just like shit it's just crazy, man.
It makes sense when it makes sense. Like you said, like Chill came through and put you in position at the time of.
And so it all started with Chill, actually. So Chill, well, JR really. You know, I knew Chill because of JR. So shout out to JR again. I mean, I know we ain't like what we was, but like it's always forever love.
The homie,
so he, you know, I had my network from JR, so I knew Chill. Me and Chill, we linked in good, and he was always like, just send me beats or whatever. Like, if you ever got some beats or anything like that. So I would always be sending him beats, and then from sending him beats, I got connected with Sin in Dipset. And he was like an artist too, but he was a playmaker and stuff. So he would put shit together for like Jim Jones and a lot of people. Yeah. And so I was starting to work with them. And then Zeke, it was a bunch of different Dipset people. They put together like an album, and I was like, I produced it, and they put me on the cover of it, ponytail and everything, still in the Barringtons. This shit way back in the day. We'll have to find
can we Google this?
Yeah, it's up. I recently found it.
That.
Yeah, we'll pull it up, but you can put it in the podcast.
I mean, not for funny terms, but just
definitely laugh.
Like, just to
I'm
start
crazy.
Yo, the ponytail was.
But yeah, straight back,
long hair, don't care.
Kicking it back there on my head.
Raccoon, yeah.
So that's how. So I got a placement with Jim Jones through doing that, and then I didn't even know though that like I knew I was getting placements, and we worked on this project and we were working things out, but I didn't know that like. And then so they hit me like, we're working on a Christmas album. Can you make some Christmas shit? And for me, I was like, okay, like, what's some Christmas stuff? The first thing that came to my mind was Home Alone. Like, I was actually watching Home Alone, and it was like, ding, dun, 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 ding, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, but like I remember the Dipset Christmas album. So you got a placement on that? That's how it all
started. Yeah, I produced the intro to that. So the intro with Mike Epps on it, I produced that. So, and they made a music video for it. It went on BET, but see, I didn't even have cable at the time. I'm still in the Barringtons. I didn't know any of this. They didn't tell me they used it. I didn't know shit. And Johnny hit me up and on MySpace and was like, yo, are you the dude that produced that new Jim Jones like music video? And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Like, I'm
but you had no clue.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, I don't think so. I am working with him, but he was like, your tag was like, bang this beat, bitch. He was like, it said bitch and everything on TV. I'm like, what? That is my tag.
That was your tag.
And they were crazy. Like, he was like, bro, I think it's you. He was like, you ain't seen it. I'm like, I don't got cable. And he was like, what?
So that means Johnny was keeping up with you.
Well, Johnny, I wouldn't say to keep up with me. I think he just came across it on like just internet or something. I don't know how, honestly. Yeah, honestly, I don't know how he stumbled across it. But he was like, yeah, I think you produced that shit. And I was like, what? So I'm like, okay. And then I was like, what I did was I looked it up. I went, had to go around, figure shit out. And then I ended up figuring out like, wow, that really was something I produced. And then Johnny was like, I see you're on MySpace, but you should come over here to SoundClick. I think like you would really kill it over here. Like, why are you trying to sell beats on MySpace, bro? This ain't where it's at. And I was like, all right, like I'll try it out. And then that's when shit really started going. Me and him, I started going out, catching the Greyhound to Pittsburgh, collabing, working with him.
5-6 hours Greyhound along.
Hella hours, two buses. I know.
Yeah,
that shit was a mission. But like, I'd be catching the Greyhound out, shit, staying with him for a little bit. We'd be just clicking on some homie shit, working on stuff too. Then from working with him, I started working with Wiz Khalifa. Vibe came a bit later.
I know. Okay, I thought you were about to say Vibe, but because I know he was working with Johnny Juliano.
Mainly Wiz.
That was
like his main. Oh, it's all good.
Johnny Juliano had produced Wiz's first to Say Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was already in tune with Johnny Juliano.
Same. Actually, no. I think that's how he first, found me. Is I sent him a message on MySpace saying, "Bro, you killed that Say Yeah shit." But he didn't ever really, I don't think, reply. And then I think maybe he's seen, okay, you got some cool beats, and then that's how we kept going. But Say Yeah was like, bro,
nah, that was it.
Wasn't people making beats like that? That was like a whole
he
different sound.
Flipped
bro.
it,
He
and
flipped the
it was
fuck out
man,
that shit.
that was my shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Ahead of the time for sure.
Like I think, shouts out to Deshani, he had did the instrumental, and we downloaded it, and like niggas went crazy over
crazy
that
on that shit.
Yeah. But not so that was gonna bring me into the next question because you just brought it up.
Yeah.
So like you dominated SoundClick like crazy.
Yeah, we was going stupid.
So just explain how you kind of like figure out the algorithm with SoundClick.
So like it went through different stages. Like when I first started, it was like on a super like it was all like you couldn't do promos really or nothing like that. It was just like whoever had the hottest shit, you just had to try to like get seen. And if you did, it was so many people, like all the artists in the country, even and all over the world, really were going to that website. That's where you go to for beats. Like it was known for that, and it was such a beautiful time, bro. That was so dope. But like it's talking
definitely
like,
nostalgic,
bro. It was so well. We that era might be coming back though. There's some shit going on, but. So that was like it would be like that, and then like I came over there from Johnny. I started like working, and like I'm talking, slowly just started getting a little bit of sales. And since I knew Johnny, and then I got cool vibe, and they were already running shit over there.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled me up with them. Like
definitely was a
bro right here.
You definitely had gotten to the top lineup of like who people was going to for SoundClick. SoundClick beats.
Yeah, they were already the ones people were going to for them. Like you went anywhere in the country and you heard Vaught. You know what I'm saying? Period.
Because I didn't think it was.
Everybody thought it said Vaught or money or
I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga, bro? Like nobody knew his face or nothing.
No, nobody knew what he looked like. He wouldn't want nobody knew what he looked like or nothing for a while, and then I finally got him too.
Nah, I remember, man. That's how crazy I be following your shit. You had said something. You was doing like a Q&A on Twitter or something. You was like. Yeah, vibe like a little Mexican dude or some shit. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, I would not.
Because he would always be like, man, like, he not no like insecure, because, nothing like that. But it's like, bro, I make these crazy hard beats, but like, I'm not black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want no people to think. I'm like, bro, I don't nobody give a fuck about that.
Because then he had a Travis.
Travis Scott, or not Travis Scott, Travis Porter, all the way to
Roscoe Dash.
Roscoe Dash.
Yeah.
All that shit. And he was just like, but yeah, he finally came up out the shell though. Let people know, let people see.
Yeah, thanks to you.
I
ain't gonna lie though. I mean, I'm an advocate to see that shit firsthand. Like, was spilling beans about this nigga early.
Yeah.
But so SoundClick is popping off.
Yeah.
But it might be
the
hard.
algorithm you were saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, cause you figured it out though. I mean, because that I ain't gonna lie. Like a lot of y'all was doing the first like lease beats and all of that and everything like that. And I think you was a part of that beginning of like leasing
figuring
beats that nobody fucking knew. So how did that come about to like separate like, okay, leasing compared to like outright buying type shit?
So like at first when Johnny first brought me in, like, I started learning like, okay, I'm looking at SoundClick, and just like with any other business, I'm looking at like, I've always been good at looking at something and seeing how like figuring some hustle out with it. So I'm like, okay, well if you over here leasing these beats right here for, this amount, $20 or whatever, like what if we start doing, versions with hooks on them for $90, you know what I'm saying? And we get some of these artists we know to do hooks on them. And we started coming up, well, what if we did 10 of them for $200, you know what I'm saying? All these things. So I just started racking up different ideas and different ways to do it. And then we just kind of like made the base for like selling and leasing beats online, really. I mean, we was running that shit up. We'd be getting like 60,000 streams a day. And like 15,000 downloads a day. But this is before, streaming wasn't even a thing, but that many people would be coming to our fucking SoundClick profiles just to listen to these beats.
Yeah, this was way before
crazy
YouTube and
none of that.
beats.
Yeah, YouTube was like it looked crazy back then. It wasn't even like YouTube yet, We was running that shit up, man. But so it came from that. And like at first it was a golden era, because at first it was like, it was really talent based. You could buy like some promotions where you'd show up on the corner, but if your shit wasn't hot, then people wouldn't fuck with you, and you wouldn't be in the top. You know what I mean? It didn't matter what you did. But like if you was like, okay, I'm really hot, and you pay SoundClick to be like on the front page, or thankfully for me, I knew like Vibe and Johnny, so like they were like kind of pulling me up with them. It was like you would be in the top, and like we were You just
so did
stay
so
in
did
that shit.
so did Vibe and Johnny ever work with each other?
So Team Hits was originally. So I first met Johnny. So and then me and Johnny, we became cool and everything. And then like over time, he was like, bro, he introduced me to Vibe. We'd be on Xbox and shit together.
Okay,
So
all right. So that's how it came about.
Yep. And in Vibe, we were real similar because we were both super inspired by like Shawty Red and the Runners. So he was like, bro, we got
Runners,
man. We was going with that. The anthem-y, like we was just talking about, like. Yeah, that was my the Runners and Shawty Red was like my inspiration, and he was too. So we were like, and he was like, yeah, I peeped you on SoundClick, bro. You made this beat called Money Over Everything. He was like, that shit was so legendary. Like, what if we made a part 2, like me and you? And I was like, what? Hell yeah, like, cause I fucked with him heavy. Like Vibe always had it, bro. Vibe always been hard. Like I don't know what the fuck. He been so hard forever.
Nah, he definitely just had like a different Shawty Red vibe, because Shawty Red shit just bang, like it just it's like Shawty Red, Drummer Boy,
Drummer Boy too,
like just hit though. So when I seen y'all click up, like that was no pun intended, RP Takeoff, but that was like your Takeoff. I'm like I'm like, bro, it ain't no turning back from that.
Nah, because we locked in, and it was like we both had the same energy too. Like he was on the grind like me. Like we make like, while like we were talking in there, like to really take your time, we would be taking our time, but we like wouldn't sleep. We'd make like 8 beats a day. I'd fly out to Cali, and I'd stay out there for 2 weeks out of every month, and we would just rack up as many beats as we could, and we'd be balling
5 beats a day for 3 summers,
riding around. Like it was man, that was definitely the era where it was like, damn, bro, like that was a beautiful thing to be a part of for sure.
Yeah. So with all of that coming in for fruition, like y'all working with each other and all of that, something happened to where you just kind of went more dominant to create a name for yourself.
So to be honest with you, because that's my brother, so I can openly talk about anything, but to be honest with you, Vibe had gotten to a space and time where he was wrapped up with this chick, and she kind of like just kind of wrapped him around a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying, and took all his time, you know what I'm saying, and I didn't stop, you know what I'm saying, and I was, we've talked about this, he knows, but so it was nothing on his end, but it was just kind of like he, sometimes that shit'll do it to you, and it was only like a year, but in that year I didn't stop.
You can miss a lot.
In a year can change your whole fucking life, man, bro.
I don't like taking a week or two. I don't even like taking naps.
No, it's a
year,
bro. So, he disappeared for a year, but but he felt like he could though, because like he was still in the top 10 on SoundClick for like 6 of those months, bro. Like the shit. We had a collab called Drip Drop. And that motherfucker was so legendary, bro, that it stayed up there for so long. But I kept telling him though too. I'm like, bro, like, where you at? Like, I kept trying to, what are you doing? He was just like, it was that, but to be fair, that was like his first like love. That was his first like real thing. You know what I'm saying? So like,
talk about Shorty?
His Shorty, yeah. So, he was getting that experience in, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I understood it, but like.
So is he younger?
Nah, he's younger than me, but only by like, he's I think like 29 now or something like that. He's about 3, 4
Okay,
3, 4 years
young.
younger.
I ain't gonna put my age out, but. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're not that much older than me. You my age, aren't you? Or are you older than me?
I'm 34.
I'm 33. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We ain't old. What the fuck you talking about?
Nah,
boy?
Man, we young, wild, and free. Goddamn it. Nah.
What you mean?
Everybody try to overpower that shit. Like you got 3. How old is 3? How are you again?
25.
Exactly.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, you only 8 years behind us.
Nah, God, that's a long.
It is a day. It is a while. It is a while.
Nah, but we doing it though. I definitely seen the transition, and like when you was working with Johnny and Vibe, and then Superstar O just became like a household name.
Appreciate that, man.
And and I follow your career like crazy, because like I said, like I used your success to build me up, and I never was jealous.
That's my goal.
But it just was like, damn, like we both came for the same shit, and talk a little bit about getting to the point where you started doing giveaways, and we're gonna get into Grind or Die, which is a whole nother conversation.
Let's go.
But just getting into giving back point, like what curated you to like start doing that?
So like, it goes back to like shit back in the Salvation Army days, like, and then back in Parkside, like my mom like never really had nothing because of her mind, you know. So she would get a job and she could only work for so long, then she'd get fired, and I'd be trying to sell weed or something on the side or clean some yards or do anything. Like I was working or hustling young as fuck, trying to do whatever we could to make money, even before I could work at like a legal
Hey man,
job.
we come from shoveling snow.
Whatever the fuck.
Take the shovel, raking leaves.
Yeah,
Hey, nigga, we stay in Ohio where every season is something to do. Goddamn it,
it's money out there to be made
for real.
For
nah,
whatever
I'd have let them know that because
100%.
The grind is crazy.
No, 100%. But so I mean, it was kind of like So back then, like I said, I would pray, like, man, if I ever get in a position where I could do, you know, because like so back in Parkside, every Christmas, you know what I'm saying, Mama, I couldn't get nothing. So like some of our neighbors, they would get me a gift. So I would get a few gifts from each of the neighbors, and then you could get with the church, and the church would send people that would sponsor families, single moms only though, and they would come and they would take us to like the day mall, and they'd buy me like some Yu-Gi-Oh cards and shit like that. And even as a kid, I would just look at these people and be like, bro, this is some of the realest shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't even fucking know me. They don't get nothing from this. There ain't no social media or nothing for them to be looking good on or nothing either. This is just them caring about people. It ain't nothing about nothing
no
else.
get back.
So I was like, bro, like, I swear that was just another thing that made me want to get money. It was like, yeah, I want to get this shit for myself, of course, and like my mom, and like be able to live and do shit we never could do. But I want to be able to get this shit so I can change other lives, bro. Because like people did so much for me like that. Salvation Army took us in, you know, on different days where we were evicted and didn't have nowhere to live. The Salvation Army, St. Vincent downtown when it was there, it was a homeless shelter called The Other Place. Like it was a bunch of organizations and people and churches and everything that did stuff for me. So I was always like, man, I'm gonna give back if I ever can. And so like at this point, I couldn't even tell you how much. Like I done gave back more than I like a lot, like a whole lot.
Nah, and I know, and that's why I wanted to shed light on, because like, you know, people might see it as a gimmick or like see it as like something that like ain't like really wholeheartedly while you doing it.
Right.
And you know, it take a lot to it just take a lot to do that, to for one, put yourself in the position to make sure you straight. Yeah. Now you in a whole nother position to like bless other people. Facts. On top of you being straight. That makes sense. Yeah. Like so it's layers to it, but I just wanted people to hear that shit because it's like a real story behind why you chose to give back.
Yeah, just like now, like for the city. Well, it wasn't even meant. It was meant for whoever. But I did like I did a producer giveaway for equipment. But then I was like, I wanted to start doing every year like some shit for the single moms, because like my mom was. So I put that on Instagram. Like, yo, if it's some single moms, I'm gonna grab a few and just like sponsor you for the Christmas and give you like some gifts for your kids. 3 of them ended up being from the city, and they instantly was like, hey, I'm from actually I've been following you. Like I'm like, oh, and you from the city? So I straight pulled up on them, and they're like, oh, you want to take like videos, pictures? I'm like, nah, we ain't got to do none of that. Like this is just off of, you know, they like humble crying and shit. I'm like, it's powerful. Like nah, like one of my things I live by is just like, if you keep your heart in the right place, and like you know, we all want things for our own selves too, but if you really like also want things and want to get to different heights for not selfish reasons too, you will never lose. You will never lose. Like we all want to get shit for ourselves too, but if you're also like, bruh, it'll feel so good to be able to, you know, give it to this person, or you know what I mean? Like you will never lose, bro. That should have come to you, period. Like
that's the next Instagram clip, I'll tell you that. So
let's go.
But that's G shit though. And I truthfully though, like I do feel like magnitude of like why you choose to do that, you kind of have to go through.
You got to go through some shit.
Yeah, you know
I know
what
it feel like to be in those situations. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom sitting there, like the last one I just dropped her stuff off to. I'll say, I don't want to say on camera, but she's somebody that like, it was a artist locally that we all fucked with, but he passed away, and I didn't even know that this was his baby mama or nothing like that. She got 5 kids, and she was like, damn, bro, if you wouldn't have came through and did this, like I was over here, like I'm like, it's just God, you know what I'm saying? Like I whenever I pray, I just pray that God keep like whatever, just keep lead me in the right way, and keep letting like just use me to shine some light. Like whatever I can do, I'm down. Like whatever it is, if it's something I can do, I'm with it. And when you do shit like that, bro, I'm telling you, you won't lose. Like you can't lose. You might lose, but as long, you know, we all gonna lose. But as long as you get the fuck back up, you never gonna lose.
Yeah, I mean, it's only fuckboy shit if you look at something like that as a loss.
Oh yeah,
like I didn't, you know.
No, not that. I mean, like if you lose, like we all gonna take L's sometimes. Like period. Like no matter how good you are or anything, like everybody's gonna take some L's.
I went off the deep end.
I mean. Yeah. My bad. No, I was saying like
I was about to start hating on niggas. Like, hey, bro. Nah, but yeah. Back to what he was saying, like
we all even if you're on your journey and like you're doing good and everything, even still, the best people in the world, you're gonna take L's. We all gonna take L's sometimes, but as long as you get the fuck back up after them L's, you'll never lose,
took
bro.
a few L's.
Shit, hell yeah.
I fucking know, man. I got a personal question to ask you, man. Like, so when you transition into I'm not glorifying like superstar but you transition into like you making your lifestyle make sense.
Yeah.
And with that, you cut a lot of people off.
Yeah.
You went into a position of like, I can't help y'all out. I gotta help myself out.
Yeah.
Not trying to cause nothing, but what was the trigger for you to make that decision? And I'm only asking that because I recently went through that to where it's like, okay, I'm not the same PV,
right?
Like, and I can't like it's hard enough to put myself on, yet alone, other people.
Exactly.
So I mean, maybe I answered the question. Sorry.
No, that's definitely that's definitely one of the biggest parts of it. So to be honest, the first part was like in the beginning, like even early before any success, like when I first got equipment and I first started locking in, it was a lot of people, even some of the people that helped me get that equipment, they started being like, damn, bro, like that's all you do. Like never wanted to pick up the phone. I'd be calling them and they'd be like, nah, bro, like you just make beats now. I'm like, bro, but you don't understand. Like I'm really on a mission. Like I'm not just doing, I would fall out. I literally had arguments with some of them where I'm like, I'm not trying to like, Siri tripping. Where I'm like, Siri, I'm not trying to
Siri
like,
tapping in.
Right, she tapping in. I thought I tried.
Right.
No, I'm like,
I hope the mic picked that up. But go ahead though.
But like, they would take it personally where it's like, bro, you don't even go out with us no more. Like we over here hitting up these, little, chicks. We doing it. I'm like, bro, I promise it ain't nothing like that. I'm like, really, I see now that I got this, I see where I could take this. Like, and some of them would take it personally, and it was like, okay, like, and I'd still keep it cool, try to call them sometime and shit. They wouldn't pick up, whatever. So I was like, all right. But then when shit started picking up, I'm like, well, shit, y'all wasn't around back when I was like, like y'all kind of dipped on me. So,
yeah.
But then it wasn't just that. It was also though, because then, we get older and then we're like, bro, I don't care about that. Like I said, now it's love for everybody. I don't care about none of that shit. But it was also, like you said, like I was trying to still figure it out for myself. So I'm like, okay, look, I'll get to a point where I'm trying to get to a point where I'll be able to whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, the little shit I could do for anybody at that point, I'm like, man, that's really, you might, and then it's again, perception. They might have thought, oh, he's doing this and that. So like he could be blowing. I wasn't at that level yet.
Not
I'm
at
still
all.
trying to figure shit out.
I live off perception is reality.
Yeah.
You gotta make yourself look good, but
yep. So this is a mixture of all that type vibes.
Yeah, and me just being like I said, non-controversial, but organically, it was a lot of, it don't matter, but it was just a lot of questions.
Yeah.
That people was like, oh, don't fuck with me, and it's like,
yeah,
you don't know what he going through to like,
straight up
get to that level. But I recently just went through that like a few years ago, and it's just like I said, bro, it's hard enough to put me in this position. You let alone thinking it's so easy to like put, you know what I mean? So
it ain't.
And you only human. Yep. You're only human. Like you got to make this work out for like your priorities first.
Right.
And not to get political or like just that deep, but this is like like, hey man, facts. Like so yeah. So I had to get that out though.
No, that's facts.
Damn. I was about to ask you about something. I got too caught up on that.
Oh yeah. 3 over there chilling. What up, 3?
I know.
3 in the building.
God, I don't do this now. I look awkward. Like I ain't have my questions on deck.
Oh no, that's good. We chilling.
Remember. Hold on. Let me go on my notes. Sorry.
Yeah. Nah.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut this out.
Yeah. This message is brought to you by
coffee and tequila.
Coffee and tequila.
Nah, okay. All right, so that was my other question.
Don't forget the tea as well as tea.
Man, I'm keeping all this shit in here, by the way.
Hell yeah.
But now, so through the grapevine, I heard that you got compensated. You got more advanced through just production for music.
In what way you
like
mean?
Companies and shit like that? Like has the production expanded more than just music for you?
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, but it is still music though, you mean? Like
well, I know it's still music, but Huh?
But you mean like working with companies, not just like artists, like an
Yeah,
artist? Yeah.
Like not just like songs and beats and 808s.
Yeah. Like that's what like when I sat down like on our way here, one of my producers I work with hit me like we're working on music for the next Spider-Man movie, and that's scoring. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, is that something?
Hell yeah, that's helped get to that level. Hell yeah, I'll tell you that right off the rip. Hell fucking yeah.
You already knew the question.
Well, I'll tell you, it was the SoundClick era because I'm talking about, bro.
That's a hell of a transition though. Like doing scores.
That's where it's at. Like, it's where it's everywhere. Like, yeah, if you're, working with artists, working with, who you want to work with, coming up with singles, that's always going to be doing good and stuff too. But it's not as much money in it as a lot of people think, unless it's a massive fucking song.
Spider-Man is pretty fucking massive, bro.
I'm talking about singles with artists. You get money as a producer, like working with an artist, of course, like, but it's really about the catalog built up over the years, or getting these massive like singles. Like, you get a Drake single or something, obviously you about to be racked the fuck up. Right. But if you get people think like,
unless
you get a
Miller
single with
or whatever,
somebody else that's not like, let's not say names, but somebody that's big, but they're not Drake, and you would be surprised how much it's not as much as people would think. But then there's so many other ways, like you build it up, and then like you're saying, like sync placements, like making music for movies and commercials, and like all type of stuff. Like there's music in the background of everything. Like the Kardashian show, a lot of my music was used for that, and like the Fantasy Factory.
Slight flex. A
lot of my beats were used for that. Like
Fantasy Factory. Rob Didrik.
Yeah, yep. A lot of my beats.
Ohio. That nigga from Springfield.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oh, okay, so another personal question, but who was your first placement that was legit you, not Johnny Juliano?
The Jim Jones.
The Christmas joint?
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
The intro to the Christmas joint, and then that was my first one, and then that's what got me introduced.
Like completely you.
Yeah, that was only me just flipping the old Christmas song.
Yeah.
And then because Dipset was like, yo, we want some Christmas music, so that was only me.
Fuck the copyright.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. I think they cleared it, or maybe they didn't. It's Dipset. They probably get.
Yeah, it was a mixtape.
No, that shit was in stores at Best Buy.
I went to Best Buy.
I got the hard copy in that bitch. Like
Jingle Bells got cleared. That's deep.
They had to. Well, they might not have cleared it though, because I ain't even get paid for that shit till like 10 years later. I ain't get nothing for that shit. But Dipset's still family. Like, ain't no shots at Dipset. That's still family.
So that sparked another question then.
What's that?
You getting paid 10 years later.
Yeah.
We getting into this, we know that like it's delayed gratification.
Yeah.
So
like what kind of way?
No, I mean like what it's a broad question, but what really kept you going when moves you was making didn't make sense at the time that it was happening? Because you would get a Dipset placement,
and then nothing.
But
happened.
10 years later, now you getting paid out.
Well, it was for stuff like that. It was that even though I might not have been getting paid, I was able to then leverage the fact that I worked with those people as like clout, as we call it now, and then that made the SoundClick. That helped the SoundClick,
which is connections.
Yeah, really. I got the connections, and then the people's view, like being on SoundClick and being able to be like, when I first came on SoundClick, I was already able to be like, yo, I've produced for all these other people too, by the way, and that made people want to buy beats from me because they're like, oh shit, he worked with these other people already, and they can go look up the songs and shit like that. So even though I wasn't getting paid, I knew I was getting the networks, and I knew like I was able to then I had like some some stuff under my belt where people I've worked with, and then that's really what kept me going for that. But really, it was what kept me going. Period. Was just that like shit. Again, if it wasn't for beats, I wouldn't even be alive right now. So it was like shit. I ain't never stopping this shit. Anything could happen, and it don't matter what direct. It don't matter what direct. I mean, we about to take this shit to the moon, especially this year coming. But like. Even if none of that shit happened, or none of this shit, even if none of this shit ever happened, I'd still be making beats right now. I'd still be in the city making beats. I'll be 3 if I live to be 83, and I just love this shit like so much. I don't know what it is. I just love it.
Nah, but I mean, because even when I have my little time of like doing beats, like it's definitely just like euphoric.
Yeah,
it's a vent.
It's a cool creative outlet.
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
A therapy at the
like
same
it's
time.
It's kind of like how podcast is for me now. Like I just like talking.
Yep.
And it's a therapeutic thing, so
straight up.
Nah, I just commend that.
I appreciate that.
So I got another question.
Yeah.
If it makes sense when I ask this, because I thought about this in my notes.
Okay.
But as much love as you gave producing, you think producing gave you that love back?
100%. It gave me my life.
Was that a good question?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because
it could be like,
I'm around with
like,
it.
You know, somebody could be like, man, they put so much into whatever it could be. Like, did it give it back? You know, and I would say though too, like for anybody that is out there super passionate about what you're doing and you feel like it hasn't given it back yet, just know that it will give it back though. Like we was talking about that before we pulled up, like me and 3, like whatever it is you want, like as long as you really don't stop, that's the only thing that separates you from the other people that want what you want is one of you is gonna stop and one of you is not gonna stop.
Boy,
as long as you the one that don't fucking stop and you keep your heart in that shit,
hey, 3,
shit
you
coming together.
And 3 is behind the camera right away, but you are in a mode of really realizing like that's valuable information because we niggas that went through it and lived through it and decoded the matrix. So it's like, nigga, instant gratification. That's what Instagram is. IG, instant gratification.
Yep. Oh, straight up.
Nigga, it's delayed gratification. This shit might not make sense till 6 years later.
Yep. Facts.
Like this, you know what I mean? Like this shit really real though. So I mean, not to get all deep like that.
Nah, shit, we getting deep.
Nah, but that's really what it is, and just for people to live through it, it just be like, bro, like you might not get your break. I used to pray for like a phone call for an email to happen, and nigga, that shit might not make sense to like nigga the next 3 years.
Yeah.
But staying down to come up,
is
a real thing though.
Yeah.
You know, just a little game for y'all though.
Yeah.
But
facts.
Yeah, so we about to wrap up a little bit.
Yeah.
A question that I ask everybody is, what is a good quote or a piece of advice that you live off of?
It's tattooed on my hand. It's my main one. It says, you are your own worst enemy. And I mean that because, like, you know, I said I was suicidal and shit like that. But even besides that, even if you're not, like, we will slow ourselves down more than anything else in this world could do. It's you. You're your worst enemy. We're our best friends, too. Don't get that wrong. But we're our worst enemy. Procrastination will kill you. Just talking, sitting around, saying what you want to do and what you're going to do, but not actually taking steps, that'll kill you. It just keeps going. You know what I mean? Like, listening to what other people say. And, like, if you're like, damn, you know, so-and-so don't like me or they saying this or that, that'll kill you. Like, but letting shit get to your head, any of that stuff. But if you can understand that you're your worst enemy, but you're also your best friend and keep that balance, that's another powerful key where you won't lose. I mean, you'll lose. We all will lose, but you'll get back up.
Absolutely. Damn, I just thought about this last question too. Grind or die, still popping?
Grind or die, yeah. Shit is that's why. That's
it's going.
Grind or die.
I thought you were going to say that.
Oh, it's going. I mean, grind or die is just like what I live by. That's just like another motto. It's like you either grinding or you dying. In the sense of
water bottles, wristbands.
You mean like
MySpace, back pages.
Yeah. No, so it's not going as like a brand anymore. I mean, I might bring you know, you could do it, whatever. Like I definitely, you know, bring it into the space. I'm working on a brand now called Spreadlight. I bought the .com and the Instagram ad already because that's like I'm all about trying to spread some positivity. So
what's it called?
Spreadlight.
Spreadlight.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and then Grind or Die will come into that, like on certain merch and stuff like that.
You didn't implemented Grind or Die, so to you it's like it's not.
It's just like a
it's
soul
there.
into my soul.
Yeah, it's not
vibes.
going nowhere.
Yeah, but the brand as far as production is Team Hits. So like you about to hear that Team Hits tag everywhere next year, like everywhere. So that's where we really running with.
That's solid. That's solid.
And then Spreadlight is like I said, the brand where it's like all type of stuff, music festivals, merch, candles, all type of shit, all type of stuff.
Damn, man, hold on, because I got another question. God damn it.
Nah, and we here. Whatever.
I know. Because I'm timing it out. My bad, y'all.
No,
but so have you picked up like linking up with an artist to build them up?
Have I? You mean like what? Like as far as
like artist development? Like
oh yeah, hell yeah.
Like you know.
Hell yeah. So that's what over the time I feel like that's one of the main things that I wanted to do. But it was hard to do, like doing the online shit, you know what I mean? Because I was just focused on online. But in the last like handful of, maybe actually it's been like 5 years or so now. In the last like 4 years, I say, I really started being like, okay, I dominated the online stuff and did all that. But now I really want to I want to see what would happen if I really, really like, I start making these trips and I start going in person and stuff and going to sessions. And that's changed my life. Like, even just we were just talking about this last weekend. Like, I'm in a thing called Beat Club. It's with Timbaland. And, Timbaland, they brought me out to Miami like a month ago now, a few weeks ago, and we did a songwriting camp with like Mike Will, fucking Sunny Digital. Everybody's there, like all these big producers, all these artists. And for one of the first times, I've been in a lot of studio sessions, but in these sessions, sometimes like the artists will have a certain ego about them, so they might not be down to like let you work with them and do some development or stuff like that. But I got to like be in session with some different artists there, and they were like just so cool. Like everybody was it was just such a good time. Like right now I'm working on NLE Choppa's album, and like I did a session with him in there, and it's just cool as fuck. Like, yo, like, yeah, you got any ideas? Like everything, just good to really work with. So, and there's a lot of like up and coming people like Mosa. He's an up and coming artist that's like, hey, y'all better get your features and get your beats to him while you can, because he the one.
About to go up.
Oh, he the one. So it's a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? But yeah, the artist development and finding people. Shit, he just put me on. What's his name? Jax, North Ave Jax. He just put me on to an artist that's hard as fuck. That I'm like, yo, I gotta work with, bro. Yeah. Hard as hell. Like, yeah, you got to keep your ears open. Like, it for the producers out there. Don't it's good to like want to get placements and work with these big artists. That's like your dream. But also don't forget, it's whole generations of people right here that's going to be the next them. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be the next ones up. So keep your eyes and your ears open for them and get at them while you can, because we all know it's really hard to get at them once they're on the top of the fucking moon. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie. Like, I broke it down to my homie one time. I'm like, we had grew up and it was like Jeezy, T.I., Ludacris.
Yep.
That got a little old. Now it's Lil Baby, Gunna Thug, NLE.
Yep.
That they
Uzi.
becoming OG. Yeah, Uzi. Now it's like it's a new generation.
It just keep coming. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and again, and you'll see which ones stick around and which ones fade, depending on, like we just said, which ones is like, nah, this is what I live for. Right. I'm in this bitch. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? Shout out to Shawty Red though too. I was just talking to him today. Shawty Red. So the Air Force is beat. I'm about to remix
Slight
that.
flicks.
I'm remixing that. And I'm about to do a beat collab pack with Shawty Red and get these bitches placed. Because I'm like, oh, gee, you know what I mean? He doing his thing still anyway. But I'm like, nah, we need to make sure. We bring in Shawty Red. Like, yeah, let's go. It's all type of cool shit, man. I love the producer and just music community. Not even just producer. Like, I love the music community of people that like are really open to like, all of us are gonna have some type of like whatever, if you got an ego or something. But ones where it's like, nah, like we all in here, like. This is a beautiful thing. People that's open to work together, like take advice or come up with dope shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love it, man.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Brother. Thank you.
Wrap? We can always come back. We can do
we doing a part two. Yeah. I just double booked a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
But the key components I wanted to ask you for you to speak on, like, I got that because you are a very incognito person. Like, you're like... Yeah, but I mean, you're vocal with your reels and Instagram and how you do things. But I just really wanted people to get like a personal understanding of you. Like, this shit wasn't overnight.
Right.
This shit like was literally like trial and errors and like just stressful.
Yep.
And man, you scaved through it, bro. Like, and you a quote is like, nothing is given nobody if they didn't earn it.
Facts.
Nigga, you earned it.
I appreciate that,
You earned it, bro. Like, for real.
I appreciate that, my bro. Same to you. Shit.
Hey, man. Look, I'm just PB from Trotwood, man.
Man, listen, I'm Damien from Parkside. Shit, what? We in here.
Hey, we need somebody to get that Parkside.
Somebody, please, bro.
Back.
Nobody will know who did it. Ain't nobody gonna care. Like, that shit is rusting away. Like, I thought about pulling up with some power tools, but I'm like, man, I can't get this.
Nah, Superstar O can be out there, burning down the poles. God damn it. But look, man, I thank you. I appreciate you. No and man, I'll give you your flowers, man. I definitely want to have a part 2.
Let's get it anytime.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. Y'all keep dreaming. We out this bitch.
Don't never stop fucking dreaming.
You feel me?
Let's go.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast.